Same here. Like, sorry guys. So, am I audible now?
Yes, you are, Parth. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's just start it off. So, I also have to get bound to it around 8:15.
So I think because we all have to rush, what I'll do is I'll quickly introduce, and then it's all about the
Sure,
insights of ETH Dubai. I'll shoot a
sure,
question, but please take it away and say what you have to say on that. Okay. Okay.
sure.
Sure.
Are we live?
How do we know?
I think it is. Yeah. So hi everybody. I think this is the second session, and apologies for the technical glitch. I think first of all, I appreciate the effort to do this because I was not able to attend, right? And rather than suffering from FOMO, now we can have JOMO and we can understand what all happened. So first of all, I'm Sameer. I'm the co-founder of Token Amigo. It's an investment network for founders to raise funds from founders. And today we have a panel. We are talking about VCs, which are on the front lines of blockchain innovation, and what are the key takeaways from ETH Dubai. So even if you missed out visiting ETH Dubai, you do not miss out on the key insights. And we have with us Parth and Alex. And without further ado, I know we are short on time. I'll let Parth please introduce yourself and what has been your experience at ETH Dubai. What are the key insights you took away from ETH Dubai, which you are now incorporating into your investment strategies? And then we'll quickly go to Alex.
Sure,
Cool.
guys. So, hi everyone. This is Parth, Parth Chaturvedi. I am coming from traditional finance background, with working with JPM for about 7 years. But within JPM in 2018, I got into their blockchain team. So that unit is now called Onyx, one of the founding members of Onyx, and worked a lot in terms of building blockchain as a technology, how we can use it within the bank. Uh, then moved on to a full-time crypto role at FalconX, where I was doing large OTC trades for Asian clients. Did that for about a year and joined CoinSwitch about a year back, leading the crypto ecosystem for them and basically taking care of everything Web3. And more recently, we launched a venture arm. The idea is to support early stage, Indian Web3 companies. It is a $10 million fund using our own balance sheet money, um, basically a corporate VC of sorts to grow the ecosystem in India. Dubai has become like a natural extension of sorts of the India ecosystem. So first of all, like lot of Indian founders were present at the event and like all the numerous side events as well. And majority of them are seeking regulatory clarity, and Dubai is sort of like offering that right now with the establishment of VARA. Even the other Emirates are building their own regulators and free zones of sorts where they can innovate and discover the use cases of this new technology. So lots of interesting projects and lots of like VC money is also flowing into Dubai now. Would love to get Alex's take since he's been there on ground. I'll probably like add in later in terms of the trends that we saw.
Cool. So,
Thanks, Parth. Over to you, Alex.
yeah, I'm co-founder, managing partner at Cryptomera Capital. Cryptomera Capital is global investment fund. We invest a lot worldwide in blockchain projects all the world. But first of all, hi everyone. So regarding ETH Dubai, well, in my opinion, it was definitely one of the best, even but one of the best conference in the last several months. So Dubai definitely right now is a Web3 epicenter, of course. There are a lot of startups, a lot of projects coming. And in my personal opinion, honestly, crypto ecosystem in Dubai is going to be stronger and better really each year. Local government, local associations are working really a lot, working really hard on it. And first of all, the main point is for a lot of years, Dubai was the place, and UAE as a whole was the place of capital. People come here, they fundraise here, they go away. Right now, what they are going to do, they are going to break this paradigm. They are going to change this rule. If fundraise here means you should be established here, you should be incorporated here, you should spend here. And in my opinion, it's fair. So ETH Dubai is definitely one of the best conferences. There are so many events around, honestly. Honestly speaking, my calendar is fully packed of different events, meetups every day. But what I like about ETH Dubai is, let's say, a place where you can meet gigants, where you can meet people who really understand the industry. Because what we can find in random conference, same people, same panels, same topics, and they are talking about same things all together. Small community. What I really like about ETH Dubai, there are new faces. There are always new faces. There are high quality projects and high quality investors. So it's a perfect match for everyone.
Thanks, Alex and Parth. So how had your experience at ETH Dubai shaped your understanding of crypto opportunities or investment opportunities in the Middle East, right? What are the specific examples you see now evolving? Because when we are in crypto space, we always talk about the timelines, we always talk about the narratives which are upcoming. So what do you see that coming up in the Middle East and what you saw at ETH Dubai?
So you want me to take that, Alex?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, couple of themes that I want to highlight, and I actually have a term for it as well. It's called the wallet wars. We are going to enter a phase where, everybody is trying to build their own wallet, and the main broad idea is to, basically make it easy for onboarding the next billion Web3 users. And the primary way that they're solving for it is around, how to better manage the private keys, better manage the recovery process in all, and that's like I saw at least, like, I would say, almost double-digit number of projects who are trying to build wallets, and within the wallet space there are two broad themes. One is around the MPC tech, which is multi-party computation. So here what happens is your private key gets sharded into three parts, and you can only basically sign when the threshold of the three is met. This sort of solutions already exist a lot, and we are seeing more and more sharding pieces to go into social logins. So basically, one part of the shard is via a Gmail login or a Twitter login. So that was one theme within the wallet wars, and the other was the latest Ethereum upgrade, which is account abstraction for EIP 4337. So smart contract wallets are going to be enabled using account abstraction. They did exist in the past. I would say Loopring and Argent were the big players there, but now with the EIP in place, there are several other competitors that are going to spring up. So interesting to see how this theme plays out in the next coming 6 months or so. But again, overall, it's very bullish for the ecosystem because the whole process of onboarding into Web3 is going to become easier. People are going to be less scared about losing their keys and losing their crypto. So I think this is an area to watch out for.
Thanks, Parth. And I hope so, because in the last panel as well, Sameep was mentioning the same thing about wallet and how difficult it is. I mean, I've been using since 2016 now, and it's time that we solve that problem. But yeah, thank you for that. So Alex, over to you. Do you saw the same things? I think double-digit projects on wallet wars is a huge number in the ETH Dubai conference. Do you see the same thing? What else do you see, Alex?
Of course, each ETH conference attracts a lot of projects, a lot of great founders. So, for example, for us as a fund, it's a great opportunity to find really brilliant minds. What I liked about ETH Dubai, there were a lot of talks regarding scalability of Ethereum. And as soon as we talk about scalability of Ethereum, of course, we have to talk about rollups. So I found really nice discussions regarding optimistic rollups, regarding decay rollups, and what I really liked, it was represented not only by rollups itself, not only projects, but by people who are going to build something on top of them. And it's really interesting. As soon as you try to compare technologies, not on behalf of the, let's say, own words, but on behalf of Prisma, on behalf of words of other founders. It's really nice. At the first point. A second point is I find ETH conferences and ETH Dubai as well as a perfect place of education, because education is very important in our industry. There are so many things which are really complicated, and for real adoption, for real users, for developers, for founders, it's very important to educate what's going on. Just simple things, what's going on in the industry, how you can build something, how you can deploy something, what kind of stack you should choose, what kind of ecosystem on top of Ethereum you can choose, whatever. And if you have a nice idea, but you want to, let's say, find a track how you can implement this idea, how you can build this idea, it's also a perfect place.
Great. So I hear a lot of developer tooling and resources which are making it easier for anybody to build a Web3 startup as well. That's interesting perspective as well, which I missed. So there is a lot of talk about global financial system and the crypto's role and the blockchain role in that, right? We are hearing a lot of news from the US, the choke point 2.0 and all of those things. How have your interactions at ETH Dubai influenced your understanding of that, or has it grown? What are you now thinking? What is your perspective on crypto role in the global financial ecosystem, and how has that evolved since you attended the ETH Dubai?
So, if I can chime in there, basically coming from JPM's blockchain team, I know for a fact that JPM is actively deploying blockchain as a technology in terms of building solutions. You might read their latest new paper around tokenized deposits. Very interesting. Basically, the next version of stablecoins is going to be tokenized deposits. So the way they want to structure it is basically going to be private stablecoins. Versus the current payment rails that we have gotten used to in crypto. But I see this sort of developing in parallel. And regarding choke point 2.0, I think the US is it's not taking the right decisions in some kind of haste, which probably is a result of the FTX fallout. And pockets and islands of regulatory frameworks where people are supportive are going to come up. Dubai is clearly one great example, but of late we've also seen Hong Kong emerge as the next destination for sort of mainland Asia, mainland China, as well as rest of Asia. In Europe, we are seeing Germany, France, and Switzerland sort of competing with each other in terms of getting more favorable terms for the crypto industry. UK itself is trying to position itself as a crypto hub. So what is the US's loss is going to be the gain of the rest of the countries. I think it's going to pan out over the next 1 or 2 years, and we'll get more clarity there. And I personally think again, traditional finance, crypto sort of they will work in tandem, they will work in parallel. It's just we just need better regulatory framework from a global sort of a standardized manner.
Cool. Thanks, Partha. Alex?
Well, I find the macro is really bad for now. It's definitely bad. Is it good for crypto industry or not? It's a great question. In short term, I believe it's still very bad. There is still significant correlation between American market, US market, and Bitcoin, for example, the crypto industry in the whole. In long term, we'll see. Some people say crypto will be hedged. Some people say it's not. We'll see. It's really complicated to forecast right now. Regarding the association of this MicroStation and ETH Dubai event itself, I don't find so many connections there. Why? Because ETH Dubai is mostly focused, as you said, by the way, a lot on developers, a lot on real value in the crypto industry. Of course, there are some events, there are some conferences. They are mostly focused on, let's say, connection of bridging the gap between crypto industry and traditional finance, Web 2, Web 3, Web 3 to Web 2.5, whatever. ETH Dubai is mostly about developers. And, people who take care a lot about projects, who really passionate about projects they work on, honestly speaking, they don't think so much about macro. It's simply not interesting for them to discuss it. What they want to discuss, what kind of value they can bring in the industry, in the world, and how they can disrupt it. And it's really good, because it doesn't matter what kind of macro you have, good or bad. You need people who will disrupt, who will push innovations. It's necessary in a bad macro, because this is the engine which will let bad macro becoming better and better, and it's obviously good for the good macro.
Yeah.
On the
Go
the
ahead.
bad macro piece, like just want to add basically, we're clearly not out of the banking crisis yet. If interest rates keep going higher, there are going to be other regional banks in the US who will probably fold over. And particularly of interest, like something that I'm watching out for is commercial real estate. Commercial real estate in the US never really got back to the same footing after the pandemic, and most of these regional banks have given loans to the commercial real estate developers. So when they have to repay and they're not able to, that's again going to be like a very tricky situation. So macro is like clearly not on the best footing of sorts. What we saw with SVB, we did saw like some kind of decoupling happen where BTC started trading, uh, you know, separately from other risk-on assets. Everything else was down and BTC kept on going up. So maybe that narrative also gains more steam if we see the banking crisis get worse.
Yeah, definitely. I think macro is important, but I also like the perspective of Alex that when macro is bad, we need people who focus on micro, and then they force the macro together. So I think that's what the crypto space has been doing as well. I don't think the macro has ever been favorable. It has always turned a little positive for us, but hopefully that will change. And this time, Alex, I'll go to you first with this. Were there any key insights that forced you to rethink your investment strategies and then you went back and changed something? Maybe it is about that, okay, you look deeper at the developer adoption, or you will look deeper at developer tools. Were there any key insights that you got like that at ETH Dubai?
Well, on behalf of investment fund, I can say right now we invest as much as we can. We invest extremely actively. Why? Because there are two types of investors, in my opinion. The first type of investor is, as soon as something is better in the market, they just immediately stop to invest. And this is the worst strategy, the worst strategy you can ever find. Another type of investors, they use this kind of cycle, this period of time to find real brilliant minds, to find ambitious founders, to help them to build new unicorns. In my opinion, this is the best time to investors. Why? Because first of all, you can find a lot of projects with long-term vision, first of all, and with reasonable valuations. Because as soon as there is hot market, it's impossible to find reasonable valuations. Why? Because there is so many helicopter money, and it's okay. It's just another part of market cycle. So right now, in this kind of events, it's a perfect way to prove the point is there are a lot of developers. There are a lot of the developers who are working right now on completely new kind of projects. What I really like about this kind of event, you can prove the point that there are a lot of projects which we will see in next cycle and they are not about hype. They are going to solve real issues we can find in this market. And it's really perfect. So back into your question, I cannot say there is dramatical change after this event, but this event, like any kind of this type of quality events, is just another proof that we are in the right time, we are in the right track, and there are a lot of things to do, and there are a lot of people who are working on these things.
Thanks, Alex. Parth? Yeah.
I totally agree with Alex in terms of this is the time when builders are building and investors are investing. So I think that truly resonates. And like again, ETH Dubai showed that prices or the global macro doesn't really affect the builders so much. They continue are innovating and trying to build new solutions. One thing that I just want to highlight is that there has definitely been a slowdown in terms of funding. This you could have seen in the Q1 report yesterday. Galaxy came out with a report where they said that I think it's fallen by 60% or something. So basically, at least in the later stages, growth stages, capital will be deployed at a very slow pace. But early stage investing, I think, has not yet seen the major brunt of it, and like still a lot of deals are happening. Valuations are definitely down. Valuations are more reasonable in that sense, and people who have conviction, people who have belief in their ideas will get funded. Maybe the cycle gets longer. What used to close in like a month will probably take a quarter to close. So for any builders or founders raising money, just keep that in mind. Keep that in terms of runway. Like make that calculation in place. That let's say you're going to market right now to raise, will probably take a quarter to finalize that one.
Yeah, I see there are a lot of builders on the call who are building, like you said, and there are investors. All three of us are investing as well. So feel free to reach out to any of us as well. Do we have time for like two more questions? Parth, Alex? Or
Maybe
one
one.
more?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll shoot you first. Okay, so you have seen many Indian startups now shifting base to Dubai or have already shifted base, right? So what do you see that space as evolving? And as it evolves, what opportunities do you see it will bring more to the Indian side, but also in the overall Web3 ecosystem? And what do you part for?
So again, I think this has been the most adaptive and flexible sort of communities like Web3 in terms of building. They have been facing all kinds of troubles since the industry began, but they have been that adaptive and have that survival instinct, and they have found a way. Even let's say if we go in recent past when China had banned BTC mining, the entire hash rate moved to the US like within like a month or so and will back at previous levels. So I think if there is one door which is shutting, there will be another door that will open. Dubai clearly has like this as part of its vision, for the future, where they want it to become like a crypto hub. They are heavily investing. They're putting sovereign wealth fund money in a couple of big funds. Iceberg Capital, Hub 71, there are billion-dollar funds who are ready to deploy in this space. So we will see, India as because of its proximity as well as the strength in its developer pool. Like I think it has the third largest Web3 developer pool, over 10,000 developers actively building. So they will seek, clarity and regulatory comfort in Dubai. Whereas for the region, I think it's great in general because more startups are going to come up, more VC money is going to come up, and hopefully more technological innovations keep happening in Dubai. So their government is also like using, I think, blockchain for using all government records, putting them on chain. Just like it is a great governance tool if you think about it, blockchain really digitizes trust. So we'll see city states or smaller countries adopt this technology much quicker. I am pretty bullish on the India narrative as well because the government stance has I wouldn't say it has completely changed, but it is definitely more supportive than before. And we are waiting for the G20 regulatory guidelines to come in by the end of this year, where a global coordinated effort will result in more growth in industry and
Thanks, Parth, and thanks for joining as well. Alex, over to you. And also, what unique opportunities do you see because of that shift, if you can tap on that?
So could you please just repeat the question?
Yeah, I was saying that as you see that, I mean, a lot of Indian startups are moving to Dubai. The
Yes.
overall Middle East as an ecosystem is now evolving, right? How do you see that further evolving from now on? And how do you think that brings, what more opportunities does that bring for the founders?
Well, definitely. There are a lot of startups with founders from India. So for me, India is really the key country, definitely the key region. The second key region is Asia. Why? Because as soon as we think about Dubai, for example, of course, it's a great place, it's beautiful, nice regulations, a lot of capital, but Dubai, UAE, the whole MENA region, there are no users. Honestly, there are not a lot of users for projects, and there are not so huge demand. There are not so huge demand on these projects. Asia and India, they're real users. You can invent anything. You can have great ideas, but you need users for your product. And in Asia and India, you can onboard these users. So in my opinion, in next cycle, India will play one of the key role in Web3 industry. Why? Because there are a lot of users, there are a lot of, this is a huge market, and there are a lot of founders. There are a lot of local founders. Why? Because I do believe that as soon as you want to be successful in domestic market, in a lot of cases, it's not a great strategy just to copy some Western solutions. What you really need to understand the patterns of your users, the patterns of your local market. So that's why a lot of Western companies, as soon as they just out of Western projects, and as soon as they just want to enter this market, they will face some issues. It will not be so easy for them. So I'm really bullish on local founders and local markets. And I do believe for founders from all the world, not from India, Dubai is a great hub. Why? Because this is a perfect place to meet people, founders, and also from all the world. It's like a huge meeting room.
Great. Thank you so much. With that, we would wrap it up. I think there's one last panel as well. Any closing thoughts, Parth, before you leave, Alex?
I would just say builders keep building, investors keep investing, and please shoot out like an email if you guys are building something interesting. We are actively deploying capital and also trying to help you, connect with the right partners in the ecosystem.
Everything will be good. Do your own research.
DIY,
Thank
yeah,
you. Thank you,
DIY.
guys. Take care.
Right.